Welcome to the GoMining Academy. My name is Jeremy Dreyer. I am the Chief Business Development Officer at GoMining, and I've been involved in Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining since 2017. I hope you enjoyed these courses. How Bitcoin mining actually works. In the previous lesson, we explored why Bitcoin had to appear in the first place. We looked at the 2008 financial crisis, a pivotal moment when global economy was shaken to its core. Banks that were too big to fail were bailed out while ordinary people lost jobs, homes, and savings. The message was clear. The financial system wasn't just fragile, it was optimized to protect institutions, not individuals. Out of that chaos came the big question. Can we build something better? If you had to rebuild a global financial system from scratch with no banks, no borders, and no central authority, how would you make it work? By the end of this lesson, you will learn what Bitcoin mining is, where new Bitcoins come from and why mining is essential to the system's operation, what makes Bitcoin secure, what the Bitcoin halving is, how it affects miners and why it preserves scarcity. A decentralized system. Bitcoin emerged as a response to the broken system, a decentralized alternative to traditional finance. No central banks, no corporate control, no government-issued currency, just code, cryptography, and community. The thesis for Bitcoin is one of a fully self-contained economy, one that creates its own money, verifies every transaction without a bank, and secures itself against fraud, all without needing anyone's permission to run. At the heart of the system is mining, a word that often sounds technical or mysterious. But once you understand how mining works, the whole system starts to click. Let's trace the life of a Bitcoin, from its creation to its movement across the world, and explore the invisible mechanics that make this decentralized system work. Where Bitcoins come from. As you're familiar now, Bitcoin doesn't come from a bank, and it's not printed by a central authority. It's digitally mined. Just like gold mining brings more of that precious metal into circulations, Bitcoin mining doesn't create new coins, but releases more of the pre-existing supply into the system. But instead of pickaxes in the dirt, this process uses computers and cryptographic puzzles. Here's how it works. Approximately every 10 minutes, the Bitcoin network issues a challenge, a complex mathematical puzzle. Thousands of miners, computers, race to solve it. The first one to find the solution gets to add a new block of transactions to the blockchain, and earn a reward in form of new Bitcoin. What are miners actually doing? Miners use specialized computing hardware called ASICs to take a group of pending Bitcoin transactions, add a random number called a nonce. The nonce is the miner's guess, and mining is basically a race to find the right guess that produces a valid block hash. Run it through a hashing algorithm, which is SHA-256 for Bitcoin. They get a hash, a long string of numbers and letters. They check if it's valid. The hash must start with a specific number of zeros. This is known as the difficulty target. When checking the validity of a hash, there are two possible outcomes. If the hash does not meet the target, the miner changes the nonce and tries again millions or billions of times. If the hash meets the target, the miner wins the block, adds it to the blockchain, and earns the block reward, which is currently 3.125 Bitcoin plus transaction fees. This reward is the only way new Bitcoins are created. It's predictable, transparent, and completely digital.